Hi everyone, this is Luhrmann.
And this is Hugh Jackman, and we're on Artist on Artist.
On MySpace. You grew up in the country. Now, you wouldn't say...
I was born in the city, but I grew up in the country, yes.
So this, I mean, obviously, there's a personal connection to the film, as there must be with every film.
When I embark on something, it very much is about storytelling, connecting with an audience, but it starts from a very personal place. And I always set myself some personal goals I want to either resolve or explore in my own life, because, you know, they take so long.
So when you started as a filmmaker, would you say this film was already in its embryonic phase? Has this always been a burning desire to make a film like this?
Actually, little footnote, you don't know, and I don't think I've ever told anyone this, it just happens to be a fact. My father's brother ran a giant cattle station.
Really?
And my older brother got to go on the cattle station for a holiday, and he came back. You know those things the banana splits used to drive with the 6 wheels, you know, right? He used to drive around the cattle station, and I was fantastically jealous of this. And he used to tell stories of boars and things like that. Now, I'm only mentioning that because it used to make me think, you know, we have this incredibly dramatic land. We also have these extraordinary historical events. It stuck with me. I always thought, gee, I'd love to see that kind of movie in the cinema again. But I remember once, you, Nicole, and I, you guys are in costume, we're all finished. The Aboriginal stockmen were sort of traipsing off, and there was dust coming off their horses. There was the homestead, the sunset was there, crew had sort of disappeared, and we were hanging there.
Right.
I think Nicole said something about cocktails. I said, you've got to be kidding.
That's what it felt like.
Well, I said, and that never happens on a set. At the end of the day, you just want to get away, get the gear off.
You've never seen actors move fast in your life, right?
I've never had that experience where you're actually in costume. You somehow invisibly slipped into the world you were creating, and you just wanted to sit on that veranda, and we were hanging.
We wanted to leave, and we hung out.
But when you came on set and the scenes are the horse breaking scene, where you lasso the horse, I think the reason you actually caught that horse is because the magic of Drover ended you through the whole landscape, because the next day, I mean, you had to...
Someone called me very lucky, but all magic.
But I mean, really more than that, in terms of character. I think there was a shift in the grounding of the character, and it came from understanding what landscape did to that man.
My son came out for probably 2 weeks of it. And he came out for a night as a treat, because they were, my family were living in the Kununurra house. And I said as a treat, why don't you come out? And he came out and just never left. At night, we would light a fire, and he'd play, and then in the morning he'd just go off, and I would see him. And there he'd be some mornings. I remember one morning, 6:30, having catfish with David Gulpilil at 6:30 in the morning. That David had just called.
Gulpilil, by the way, which we should mention, is actually a true... I mean, he's a superstar and a legend. He's Australia's legendary Aboriginal actor who started when he was 19. Incredible actor, but has had extraordinary experiences. I mean, David actually lives in traditional lands today. He hunts roo, he'll catch a fish, eat a turtle, but he'll say to me something like, hey Baz, that Jimi Hendrix guy I played with in Central Park back in the 60s with a didgeridoo, he's still around. I'll say, actually David, you should get out more.
Both of us have been involved in music in our professional life. I mean, we've both done musicals, both been on Broadway, done things, you've done recording, you've had #1 hits, you've done lots of different things with music.
I am a one-hit wonder. Actually, it was embarrassing, I don't have to use this, but it was so embarrassing. The other day, VH1 came on and it said, one-hit wonders.
Are you on it?
And I'm on it. And it said, and like number 300 or something is, what film director had a #1 hit once in his life? And I'm like working out on the machine going like, yeah, what loser did that? And so Sunscreen comes on, I was like, I never really imagined being a one-hit wonder. Anyway.
But the best dressed one-hit wonder.
That's very kind of you.
I was brought up in the church. My mum sort of veered away from it, but my dad stayed with it. And I remember going to some kind of meeting, and there was 3,000, 4,000 people. It's probably about the size of this place. And all I remember is so vivid to this day, just going, I'm going to be up on the stage. And for about a year, I thought that meant I'm going to be an evangelist.
Right.
And I remember saying that to my dad, who was, or some kind of...
He must have been happy.
No.
No, he wasn't.
Well, he just said, just forget it. And he never talked about it again. And of course, later in life, now I can look back and see that there was a certain knowingness, and all through my life, without asking for it, really. If we were in a group of schools, someone would say, Hugh, will you give the speech? Will you get up? Will you do the thing? So something was always drawing me up in front of the crowd, and there's something that feels actually, again, it probably sounds arrogant to even talk, I'm a bit uncomfortable talking about it, but there's, you know, it's a place you're kind of meant to be.
Well, Hugh,
thank you.
I can't thank you enough, and you know that.
Thank you. Thank you. Artist on Artist.